if you want to use the monitor to live on Facebook.
We back at it, man.
Yeah.
Deuce.
It's the Beyond the Hustle podcast, so y'all come on in, man.
Maestro. Daniel Tatamy. Man, you like a personal trainer out here, man. I wouldn't be up here doing it right now. Without your motivation, man, for real.
Yeah.
What's going on with you, brother? How was your week?
What's up, man? What is up, man? What is up?
Not much.
Uh-oh, that video is too loud. What is going on? What is going on? Thank y'all so much for tuning into another episode of Beyond the Hustle. I am Daniel Tatamy. Join with me as always, Paul Renee Jr., the serial entrepreneur. Y'all say what's up, man. Applause.
Whoa,
Thank you.
I appreciate that. What's going on, bro?
What's going on?
You had a good week, man.
I'm having a dope week so far, man. I'm having a really dope week so far. Can't even complain, man. Can't even complain. How's the week treating you, man? Before we get into this.
Oh man, I'm blessed, man. I always feel like I'm living a dream. Yeah, I get to live the life that I decided to make, but above all that, I get to help people, man, and that really I guess inflates my ego and keeps me motivated, especially in a business where there's so many different fires you got to burn out, so many things you got to do to get people straight and on the right path, man. It's very, very you got a lot of weight on your shoulders, but the appreciation that people give, and helping them out and seeing what's going on in this world, and knowing that you're doing your part to be there and help people and be a valuable member of society, man. It's nothing better than that, man, to be real. So
yeah. It's funny hearing you describe it like that, because what I'm thinking about hearing you say that, I'm thinking of fatherhood. And me and Oksana did a Facebook Live earlier. I think it was on Sunday. I think it was on Sunday. I forget, one of them days. And I was talking about fatherhood. So it's funny hearing you say that, because that's what I was thinking about when I was listening to you talk.
All right, like where did you get the comparison of fatherhood then?
Just talking about helping people out and being happy and being proud of it, and then seeing them, happy brings a lot of joy to you. And because I was talking about that parallel with my brother. I don't know if you remember Daryl. Remember my younger brother?
Yeah, Daryl, twin, right?
Huh?
Twin?
No. Daryl's the youngest one, the baby.
Oh, okay. I remember him though. I think I do remember Daryl.
Yeah.
Everything's good with him.
Yeah,
so man. What's up?
He's good. Yeah, I let him know. But we're talking about that, and just how seeing other people happy, being a father and being a man, just like seeing your household, your family, and people happy in your house, it brings you a lot of joy. So just hearing you say that, it brought that parallel and what it is that we do in the services that we provide. You with tax and financial services, with production and film services, seeing the client happy, seeing the person happy, it makes you feel like, you know what I'm saying? It makes you want to give yourself a nod.
It definitely does, man. We're part of their goals, in life. And so to be able to be a part of people's goals and successfully getting them there. Yeah. But I don't know what else you want in life, but that motivates me. That's good.
Yeah. I'm gonna give y'all the rundown for the pod and what we're gonna talk about tonight, what we're gonna discuss, man. So come on in, man. If you got something to say in the comments, throw your comments out there. Ask your questions. I can see them. We're going to be monitoring the comments, and we're going to be talking about solving the issue of fear in marketing, right? That's going to be kind of the thing that we go into, because a lot of times, just speaking to a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners, and me and Paul talked about this before, one of the things that, and then Paul, you can speak on it too, man. One of the things that you see, or that we see from young entrepreneurs or people aspiring to get into this space and take responsibility of their own financial future for themselves and their family is the marketing side of it. And what scares people, or what holds people back from going full-fledged in marketing, something that I thought about was just fear, bro. I that's the one thing that, you know, came to my mind when we were talking about it, because of what you said was one of the largest key components when it comes to marketing your business, man.
Okay. Yeah. So the fear in marketing, I would direct it into one of the most important aspects of a successful business.
Yeah.
I guess it falls in a line of marketing, but man, it's sales.
Mm.
People are afraid to do what it takes to get the sales portion of the business done. Yeah, you might be operational. You might know how to do what you're doing. For you might be a great mechanic. Okay, you know how to fix cars, but no one's gonna know about what your specialties are and how good you are if you're not going out there and reaching out to the people and letting them know that you're in business. And
Mm.
that's all about sales.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about getting out there and doing what it seems like is one of the most fearful things that a human being can experience, is talking to people, man. Whether it's public speaking, which I know a lot of people are scared of doing that, public speaking, and it is nerve wracking. I enjoy it. I get to that point where whenever I feel nervous, I feel like I'm doing something right, and it is something that I'm supposed to be doing. So that nerve is more of an adrenaline, aspect of it. And it's just about whether you can control that adrenaline or let that adrenaline crush you. And that is that fight or flight syndrome right there, right? So it's either you're gonna be ready to fight it and go through it, go forward, move forward, or run away. And I love
Yeah.
it. That's that adrenaline that I like. So sales does the same thing, man.
Yeah.
A lot of my success has come through the phones, and a lot of the teachings that I do to young entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs who want to expand their business. I teach them about sales, and man, it'll be some of the biggest guys that you think are like, so strong and so much, full of confidence in themselves and the way they talk. But man, once they get on that phone, a cold call with someone they don't know,
Dude.
and it doesn't go the right way for the first couple of calls, you can see those guys crumble. And you can imagine how that affects women too as well, and
Yeah.
so who are not as tough. But yeah, sales is a big deciding factor on the success of your business.
I
Um,
I wanted to equate it to, because you have a music background, I have a music background. You've been in the studio with that person, that rapper or singer, who talks so much about what they're going to do in that studio. And then when they get behind that mic and that engineer hits record, the way they perform in that studio, it freezes you, being on that
yeah,
stage. Even doing what we're doing here, hopping on the live on social media, a lot of people can't do that, or won't allow themselves to overcome this fear. You brought up public speaking, and being out there in the public space and putting yourself out there. There's a lot of fear that goes into that.
oh
And
yeah,
being young in the entrepreneur, being young in the business space, and doing something like that, putting yourself out there. I don't know if it was you. I think it was you. I was talking to someone, and they were talking about uh, having someone help them, market their business or do something with their business without their face. Can you help me market? Or can you help me, put my business out there, and give me a marketing strategy that does not include my face, because I don't want to put my face out there. So I want to hear, what do you think about that? What do you think about marketing or someone pushing their business, especially in the early stages, and deciding not to use their face. Do you agree with that or not?
It all depends with what they're marketing or um, I would say that it all depends on what how they view their business as far as growth goes, as far as scaling goes. Um, they probably want to design it to where they don't want it to, like, for example, um, let's say my tax business, right? Sometimes I don't like having my face on my tax business because um, anyway because it's a franchise. There's other people that are involved, so I don't want you to think it's just me. I want to be able to have um, the other people, the new tax preparers who are on the scene get some limelight themselves, right? And so um, it's much more bigger than me for it to just be me. It's other people involved. So, and that's for any business that I'm in. But if it's something that is like specific to just that individual, whether it be he be an artist or a musician, right? Something where it doesn't require other people, employees or anyone that you're working with, partners or whatnot, then yeah, you can put your face. But if it's a corporation and where you're dealing with multiple people, um, it'd probably be wise to just hire models or people to, you know, do the advertising for you. Then it just being, you know, the president or CEO, because there's a lot of different moving parts involved. And
Yeah.
it's not just you. So
Yeah.
you might just get away with just advertising you and the team,
Yeah.
but it all depends on strategy. Everything isn't definite. There's not a real um, a book written out on this is the way you should go about it in business. There are some things that you can't run away from in order to make a business successful, but everybody's just learning as they go. Maybe it is good for you to just be the face of the business, even though you have other people working for you and whatnot, and maybe people are only coming to the business because of you. Then yeah, I would use my face all the time,
Yeah, I
right?
think that that's probably the biggest one. If people are coming to the business and they're moving there because of you, because they know who you are, especially in the beginning stages, and that's why I wanted to specify that in the early beginning stages, the face would have to be the person, and we're not gonna say you're gonna end up on all of the flyers, right? Or you're gonna put yourself on your business card, because I don't even put my
Yeah,
face on my business card. I wouldn't do that. I don't think that would be necessary. At least for me or for what I do. If I was in real estate, I probably would throw my face on there.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but it depends. Like you were saying, it depends on the industry. I think it's important early on because we talked about this before, Paul. No matter how much automation, no matter how much AI is out there, right? The one thing that you can't get rid of is people enjoying that personal touch. People want to feel that. People want to know that they're connected to a person. No matter
yeah.
what they're buying, no matter what you're trying to get them to subscribe to, they want to know that there's a person behind it. I know for me, when I call, customer service, I'm hitting zero because I don't want to
Nah.
talk to that. Give me that person because I need them to be able to go through this issue, with me and
Oh
kind of
man,
get some understanding.
dude, can you imagine the generations now, like the ones that after us? They have no idea what real customer service is like. Everything's automated for them, right? So it's kind of a natural response for them to be able to reach an automated person on the phone rather than a live person. When we grew up with live people answering the phones, and then
Yeah.
we had to experience the transition of it going into automation. It's like, what's going on? No, I want to speak to a live
I want a
representative.
person.
Yeah. Okay, before we give you a live representative, we need to know more.
We
Like,
need to know more
oh
about your
man, come
problem.
on.
No, I don't even want to talk. I don't want to talk to Siri about my problem, dude. what's funny about what you're saying is, and I was gonna see if this person would talk to me. So I'm talking to, I was at work, and I'm talking to one of my coworkers, and the kid is like 22 years old, bro. He's 22. So we're just talking, we talk about life and faith or whatever like that, and his relationship and girls or whatever like that. And just to hear him to describe his life experience, and I'm like thinking to myself, and I was talking to my wife about it too. I said, yo, he's 22, 21 or 22, whatever like that. Dude, I'm thinking they're 40, bro. And just to hear the way he talks about the world and life, I'm like, bro, that's nowhere near my experience, or that's not a world that I even know. You know what I'm saying? And I said, it's kind of
Yeah.
cool talking to him because he's giving me that insight on that. But dude, when you start, and I told her, I said, I can learn a lot from this kid. You know what I'm saying? Because his outlook and perspective on life, dude, is totally not mine. I'm like, bro, I don't even know what's happening anymore out here when I talk to him. I'm like, bro, I'm so like, because like you said, they know automation, they know this, and working hybrid, right? To him, working hybrid is the way to go. For me, this is like a first. You know what I'm saying? And now it's like, become a kind of little standard for me. But for me, like, being able to work hybrid is like everything, because I grew up and I was working at a time where you was going in some 5, 6, sometimes 7 days a week. You were there.
Yeah.
It wasn't even an issue. But I think COVID kind of shifted all that, and they're being brought up and raised up in this. And it's probably gonna look totally different by the time our kids get out there.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, who knows what the future holds? I'm feeling that majority of people will be going to a workplace that's totally different than what I've experienced because of AI and robots taking over many industries, factories,
Yeah.
you name it. Yeah. So um, a lot of people will be showing up to work just for the meeting of the minds,
Yeah.
but majority of things would probably be remote, in my opinion. And you're
Yeah.
right. COVID did send a lot of people home to work, and even teachers, and having to go to school and all that. It was a life changing event that
Yeah.
happened. Um, Luckily for me, I was already hybrid before COVID happened.
Yeah.
I used to do workers' comp insurance investigations all over the nation for a private company, and they used to send me all over the place, and with the Amex and a laptop and a camera. So I was used to being on the computer and getting, my marching orders through emails and stuff, and making
Mm,
money that way. And I wanted to continue that, because, at the time being a single father, it was like the only real way for me to be able to be there for my son, was to create my own hours and work from home, way before people even started thinking about working from home. So I always had to be creative in the way that I was able to deal with customers and clients and reach out clients and time management. Yeah, because I had a family to take care of.
dude,
So
um, I wanna, so like talking about fear, right? The fear of marketing, and we're talking about sales a lot too. And I want another fear that I was thinking about when I was thinking about the show, this episode. It was taking responsibility. The responsibility of your own financial future is scary. So I think for a lot of entrepreneurs, right, or even people that decide not to get into entrepreneurship, to work a 9 to 5, which is, there's no problem with that. You can work a 9 to 5, have a job. Is, you know this date, this month, I'm getting a check. This Friday or whatever it is on the calendar,
yeah,
there's a check waiting for me right there. So I know that there's guaranteed money in my future. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to look for it or anything. All I have to do is make it to that date, and there's this amount of money waiting for me. You know, when you get into entrepreneurship and when you're pushing your own company, and you're boldly, trailblazing, there is no date. You know, even if you have a client set up somewhere, you know, within the calendar, plans and things change all the time. I know when I was doing this, I was live doing the sit down as a live show. I had guests cancel on me the day of. So calendars and plans and things like that, they change constantly, you know? So the
Yeah.
fear of taking your family's financial future in your hand, taking your financial future in your own control and not giving it to a major corporation, dude, that's scary. And when it comes to dealing with the fear or the issues of marketing and things of that nature, when it comes to that, I think the responsibility is a scary thing as well, bro.
Yeah, it's just a matter of perspective, man. And people's opinion on where they want to see themselves in life,
Yeah.
right? It is not that the 9 to 5 and the entrepreneur is better than the person who works a job or anything like that.
Right.
It's just, let's just get down to the real reality of it. If you're working a 9 to 5, yeah, you do have that security of getting a paycheck biweekly or weekly. Um, Somewhat, I would say, not real security. It's a delusion of security, because based off of like what you're saying, um, you're gonna get paid next Friday. All you gotta do is make it to that day. But man, Daniel, I've been through I've been through a lot.
Yeah.
I've worked for a lot of companies, over the years, and yeah, sometimes you're not gonna get that check on Friday, man, because the
Them
company
layoffs
is,
are real.
yeah, the company isn't doing well, man. Something's going on in HR department, and they're like, yeah, you guys gonna have to wait till Wednesday because you got to get things in order. You like, what? Should I even show up tomorrow? Cause
Yeah.
I didn't get my check today, man. I've had that. I've experienced layoffs,
Yeah.
because economies change, and what really makes a company is usually the owner or the president, that person, that charismatic person who, we're going back to this sales, right? He brings in the sales, he brings in the money, he brings in the revenue. New clients, old clients, they are orbiting around this person because of what he brings to the table. And 5,000, 1,000, whatever amount of employees are motivated by this person because he's showing the great signs of leadership and the company's doing well. But that person ends up passing away or leaving or anything like that. Now the company's changed, a totally different dynamic, right? Apple and Steve Jobs, right? That type of thing. And I'm not saying like Apple isn't doing well, but Steve Jobs was the man right behind it.
Right.
You get what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
And it was he was the I'm not saying he was a great person or whatever. I'm just giving you an example like that.
Yeah.
That name that people fell behind. Um, a lot of companies just failed because that one person is gone. So that security aspect isn't really there. Then you have the like what happened to me a couple of times, right? Is getting written up because I'm showing up late, and
Yeah.
hey,
I mean,
hey, you got 2 more times this month. 2 more times this month, but I'm driving like 45 minutes an hour to get there, and I got too much. I gotta leave the house earlier, man, because I gotta punch in this clock or I'm getting written up, man. They
yeah.
serious about
Yeah.
the written up. So I don't see the security there, man. It was always that fear of getting there on time, not getting written up because of this and that and rules and OSHAs and what equal opportunities and all this stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
And they could just not like you. I was the type of guy that whenever I used to work for a company, I would see how things should be and I would voice my opinion. And that didn't really sit well with management because management felt like, hey, I should know better, right? So when it comes to entrepreneurship, in my perspective and opinion, and a lot of other entrepreneurs who chose that route, they're motivated by the security of their themselves. They know they're hardworking. They can bring that deal to the table. So I would rather um, bet on me than bet
Right.
on a company, right?
Dude.
So I'm much more secure knowing, Daniel, that if I needed $5,000 tomorrow or by the end of the week, all I gotta do is get on the phone.
Yeah.
It might take me 1,000 calls, but I know what the formula is to get the result. Right? It's
Yeah.
hard work. It's the numbers game. I got to go through a whole bunch of no's before I get that yes. And when I get that yes, I'm gonna strike big. I'm gonna strike gold.
You know,
Right? And so that gives me security. That hey, I need to get this going. So let me get at it. I take that responsibility on myself, knowing that I'm confident in getting the job done.
and that being responsible for yourself and knowing what you're going to get in your result, and then what that dollar amount is, that's what you're securing. And I think that's what makes the entrepreneur or the business owner you know go as hard for it as they do, because they have that figure in mind. um so Harmony says, she says, right, I drive far to work and I'm praying for my own business soon. Drop your business, man. Drop your business. I want to know it. um and and everything is changing. To your earlier comment as well, it's necessary. The change is necessary, right? If you,
Well,
and nothing is wrong if you do want to work, right? And that's not what we're saying at all. But
no, working is
the change,
necessary, man. Like
right?
I think the 9 to 5, like it was, would you say, Harmony? Shout out Harmony. That 9 to 5 is to fund your dreams, is to fund your
Yes.
business.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to get two or three of them in order to get the income that you need to
Yeah.
fund your dreams and fund your passion and fund your business. And that business might not work. Uh, so then you have another avenue. It's just that you got that mindset that, look, I want to do on my own. I'm a hard worker.
Yeah.
That's why I have 3 jobs. I have these 2 jobs, or I have this whole job or whatever. I'm a hard worker. Why not work hard for myself so I can get to that position that I need to? And I might even have to be working harder once I get on that level as an entrepreneur. But once that ball starts rolling, it gets a lot easier, man.
Yeah.
That's why the people that majority of people that they're working for, you never see them. You never see the boss. You never see the owner, but you've never seen what he had to do either in order to get
I
there. All
You
right.
wasn't with me
So
shooting in the gym.
yeah,
That's a
exactly. Right.
that's a good segue uh for my next point, bro. Passion starts and profit sustains, right? So the passion, us being passionate for what it is that we do, it's a great thing. And that's what's going to give you that spark. That's what's going to ignite you to move, is being passionate about what it is that you're doing, right? Even if
Yeah.
you're at a job, your passion for the job, your passion for whatever industry or your career choice, your passion for it, that's what's going to get you to start it. That's what's going to wake you up in the morning. That's what's going to make you excited. Now, seeing the outcome of your passion, or seeing a result for that passion, which is that profit, bro,
Yeah. Turns into
that
an
is
addiction.
what's going to
It
sustain
turns
you.
into addiction, man.
It
Man, I
Right,
get
it turns
paid
into
for
an
doing what
addiction.
I like to do. Ha
Yes.
ha.
Yes.
Yeah, sign me up. Sign me up.
Dude,
Yeah, it's
dude.
addiction.
So I want to hear what you have to say about getting to that profit. And it's not wrong for us to want to profit, bro. It's not wrong for us, and we shouldn't feel guilty for whatever price we put on what it is that we do. And even if it's time for that price to increase, let the price to increase, because it takes profit to sustain that passion that you have. You can't keep getting up doing it. You're not going to go to work for free. You're not going to be excited about pushing your business for free as well.
Yeah, you got to make money in whatever it is. You just got to have a good product to sell. And you have to understand too, you could be passionate about something that doesn't even make money though, right? So the what do they say? Insanity is doing something over and over again. That
Yeah.
and expecting, different results.
Yeah.
Um, you got to give the people what they want as an entrepreneur. You got, if you want to make money, you got to find out what's making money and then join yourself into that market.
Yeah.
Um, it's just that you could be passionate about something that there's a market for. Okay, and that's where you want to fall into seeing what the people want, and then it's all about supply and demand, right? And my philosophy is, once you get into that market, it boils down to customer service. What kind of service, what kind of product are you giving them? And I always recommend go above and beyond, give that gold standard. But of course, make that money, get paid for giving that golden standard. Look, I'm
Yeah.
the type of guy that used to take my cars to the mom and pop shop, and because I figured I'll be able to cut a couple of dollars just to get them to rig it up and make sure it's running and working, and then I'm ended up suffering in the long run for cheap service. Nah, man, I go straight to the dealerships, because you're gonna get the best type of service there, right? At the dealerships, because even though you're gonna have to pay a little bit more, but you're gonna get that quality of service, and I'd rather pay more for that customer service, that quality service. So they at the dealership, if it's gonna take longer than necessary, they're gonna give me a loaner, right? They're like, hey, take this car, we'll call you when it's done.
Yeah.
Like, all right, cool. Rather than a mom and pop stop where they're like, hey, you got somebody who can pick you up?
Yeah.
Like, it's gonna be here. So
Yeah.
I'd rather pay more for good service, man.
Yeah.
That's
One of
what
the things I
preach
always,
about.
yeah, one of the things I always say is you get what you pay for, right? You get what you pay for. And that value, what it is that you're getting, it's like, what do you want, right? So what outcome are you expecting? And then whatever outcome that you want is going to take something to get that outcome. It may take more time, right? Or it may take more money. Whatever it is, whatever outcome you want to see, make sure that you're aligning what it takes to get that outcome, because that outcome costs something. It comes with something. And it's funny that you said that, because, dude, I mean, you're hitting these segues on the head, bro. You're hitting these segues on the head. What I'm going to use.
You the maestro, man.
Which
That's
is,
what it's all about, though.
It's perfect, bro. And I want to talk about, dude, I want to talk about knowing your market. And you literally said that. You know what I'm saying? You got to know your market. Working hard in the wrong area. I wanted to I put that in my notes. Working hard in the wrong area, because I see a lot of people, and I know, and then they'll come talk to me, and I see them. They'll be doing things, and they're putting in all this work, right? And it's in areas that don't really concern with their end result.
What kind of areas? Give me an example of the area.
Okay.
Without being too specific, or so that person's like, hey, damn, I don't like that. Damn, you talk about me, man.
Yeah.
I don't like what areas, man? Like, give me an example.
I'll bring up something, right? I bring up over preparation, right? Bring up there's one thing in being prepared for and planning for what you want to see. There's another thing that goes into procrastination, and don't get me wrong, I struggle with procrastination as well, right? I have to like get myself. I'm like, okay, I've been sitting on this project, I've been sitting on this for a while. It's time to get it done, right? So we deal with and we struggle with over procrastinating, right? Or being procrastinate and over preparing. So say you want to get something done, right? So you have an end result or something that you're working towards. Yet you're still stuck at the first step because you don't want to take that next step because you want to make sure you're prepared for it. And it's like, well, there's no way for you to be fully prepared for step 2 or 3 because you don't even know what that is. You're still
Right.
stuck on step one trying to figure that out, or trying to make sure you're ready for that first step. And it's just like, bro, just go ahead and take the next step,
Yeah.
because your industry or what it is that you're doing might not even call for half the stuff that you're preparing for. And you don't even know because you're putting in all this work focusing on something that has nothing to do with your industry. And that's why I brought up knowing your market. You have to know what your market wants, right? You have to know what your market is and what you're going to do in that market before you're able to confidently go move about it, So that's
Yeah.
what knowing your market comes into.
I tell you what that means to me, right? Is knowing your market is like it's sales, okay? And you're gonna hear me say sales and relate sales to everything, right? Because that's what it's all about is sales. Because numbers make sense. Numbers tell you everything. But it's like look at it as like an online store, right? Like an eBay, okay? Um, if you're selling pencils and pencils are not what's moving in eBay and you're passionate about these pencils because pencils is your life. You grew up in a family who cut down trees and created the trees and made it into pencils and lumbers, what they were all about. Your house was built with lumber and wood, and you know how to pressure treat. Wood is your passion, right? You can make a car out of wood if you want to. So pencils is what you selling. You passionate. And the market's like, nah, man, we use pens. Like
We don't want
we got
pencils.
stylos on tablets, man. You
Yeah.
over here doing pencils, dude. Like, come on, but you passionate about it. This is what you want. You know you can make the most high quality, powerful pencil that could, write in outer space if you needed to. But the market's like, nah, man, we'd rather use this big pen and we good to go. That's what I mean by knowing what your market wants. Because now you're passionate in an area that's not going to be generating you any money. I'd rather you be passionate about what the marketing is demanding. If you want to get into what people can use to write and stuff, what's selling?
Yeah.
Find out what's selling, and now you know what's selling. Get in that market and sell that pen, or stylo, or whatever it is that is creating money, and then find a way to creatively jump into the market with that product.
Yeah. I'm reminded, hearing you say that, I'm reminded of something that I call him the bishop. Kevin Samuels. I'm reminded about something that he said.
Yeah, long live the great.
Yeah, man. And I'm gonna be talking about this guy I'm gonna be biting him for a long time. But I'm reminded of something that he said, and I had to take a look at the same thing. Getting older, having a family, being married, kids, and all that good stuff. He said he was talking to a caller. A guy calls in, and he's talking to a caller. And so what he told the caller was, he said the caller was talking about money and having enough money to do this, that, and the third, right? And he told the caller, he said, dude, you got to go get a job and get some money. Like, you can't even afford, you're too broke to be trying to pursue some passion or do something like that.
Right.
You got to go get to this money. And what I'm reminded of is the fact that, what made me think about it is like, yo, we live in America, and I don't think we realize, how fortunate and blessed we even are to be in this country. Granted all the problems that we have, right? Every country has its own set of problems, right? So we have our own. But we're fortunate enough to where we can sit here and say, I don't feel like doing that. I don't want to do that for money. I want to do this for money. And then actually be able to go pursue that, put in enough work and effort and energy and get that accomplished. And we can sit and say, oh, I don't feel like doing this. So I don't want to do that. I want to do something else. And we can go do that. We're fortunate enough we live in a country where that's even possible. But what I think that does sometimes is it cripples a person. And it gets a person to say, well, because I want this and because I don't want to do that, that should come to me. And that's going to come to me. And yeah, what you put out is what you're going to get in. But I'm nervous that a lot of people will fall into that place, of saying, well, I don't want to do this. I want that to happen. That's going to come to me. It doesn't just come, it does not just show up. Customers will not just show up, you know? And that
Yeah,
saying, if
exactly
you
right.
build it, they will come. I hear that saying and I understand it. And that for that time period, that saying meant something within proper context. And I think the context can sometimes get lost.
If you build it, they will come, but you gotta let them know that it's there. That's the whole
That
thing.
part.
You know, like they're not gonna know it's there unless somebody tell them. You know, so
Right.
you gotta let them know it's there.
Right.
Yeah, because they're not gonna just come to it unless you tell them, and then you gotta let them know why they should come there and all that. That's sales, you know.
Why? Sales.
Sales, yeah, why you need to come there and everything, and how coming here is gonna be much more beneficial for you and everything, and yeah, come try it out for the first time for free if you need to, so you can
Hey, if
come
you
back,
need to,
right?
yeah. Here's a coupon.
Yeah,
Here's a
that's
coupon,
sales,
bro.
man.
Here's a
That's
coupon.
sales on it.
Um,
But yeah, passion is good. You know, it's just you gotta know what the market wants. There's a lot of entrepreneurs. They probably agree with me about it. You get caught up to that point where you're like wanting to do what you feel like you want to. You want to make those pencils and stuff like that, but then you learn like, man, these pencils aren't working. A majority of people want to start restaurants. Man, this restaurant isn't working, right? So that's the mark of an entrepreneur, though, is to try and to fail, is to see what works, and then you end up basically giving the people what they want because you're seeing that, hey, these passion projects, these projects that I just wanted to do because I wanted to do it. Who cares what other people will say? I just feel like I want to do it,
yeah,
right? You know, that's just and people are gonna show up because I'm gonna be doing it, and then I'm gonna make a logo, you know, and get a
yeah,
business card, right? And it's like, yeah, then they find out like, all right, at least I know how to make a logo. At least I know how to make a business card. Let me do that and put some
yeah,
energy, something that was really generating money in the market,
yeah,
right? And that's probably the smart way of doing it. And then that entrepreneur ends up making money from there, and it's like, hey, I can see this. There's something to this, man. Let me try it with something else that's making money, right? Let me do it again. And then because that creative process, which is always involved in entrepreneurs, is we always have that creative process. We're creators. We're creatives.
yeah.
You know, I know people literally, Daniel, that just got off on just starting new businesses. They didn't even care how it ran. You know, it was successful. Man, I did it. Oh man, this is making some money. All right, let me see what else I could do.
Let me see what
What
else I
other
can do,
business I could do? Yeah, man, it's like that.
dude.
Um,
Falling in love with the process is something that I've learned, and I feel like it's an overstated, man. It's an underappreciated uh, quote. Like, man, like falling in love with the process. Kobe Bryant spoke about that, doing the small things and falling in love with doing the small things. He spoke about that and how when he would go into the gym, someone asked him, you know, how you keep doing this, and he was like, yeah, fall in love with the small things. Like when I get into the gym, the basics. I obsess over the basics, and I fell in love with the basics. Right? I'm not trying this crazy trick shot. I'm not doing this and changing up my routine and trying to do something. No, it's the basics because I'm doing the fundamental basics way more and better than the next person. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna succeed. And what I begin to do is start enjoying the process of a thing. Because once you start doing the process of something and you starting to move into something and you're doing it over and over and over and over again, you know what I'm saying? And you start finding success in that.
yeah,
And it's just like, bro, it's not even about, yeah, the success is dope, you know, and it's great to have this success, but you're going to have low moments. You're going to run across low moments. And when those low moments and that high is not there anymore, what's going to keep you still moving and going? It's the process of it, the small things. And you fall in love with the basics and you're doing that over and over again. And you start seeing success in the area. So no matter what season your business or your venture or, you know, whatever it is, no matter what season it's in, yo, you fell in love with the process, the basics, you've mastered those things. Now that's what keeps you going, right? And what keeps you pushing through those humps. And one thing I always tell people, and that struggle with that start, that getting it out there, it's like, yo, you have a product. Like you have something that if you have a passion for it, right? If you're passionate about it, if you want to do it, there is something that you have, you know, a product, a skill, something that you have that you can market. It's up to you to get up there and sell it, right? You have to, like you said, like it's not enough to just build it and hope they come. If they don't know it's there, and if they don't know why they should even go, they're not gonna show up. So you have that product, you have that thing. Now you got to get out there and do something with it because people want to support. I believe people do want to support. You know?
Yeah, people like quality service. People, and again, support is not that people want to support. It's just the demand. If you
Yeah.
jumping into a market where there's a demand for something, then you know people are gonna want to utilize your services
Yeah.
because it's in demand for that type of product or service.
Um.
So that, yeah.
Uh. Harmony said, she said, I'm passionate about working with special needs and all children. Abraham had wealth. God's children should be the head and not the tail. Man, that's facts. I think that's hard to tap into. I wanted to
Bless your
ask you,
heart. Bless your heart.
right. I wanted to ask you this before we get out of here, bro, because you brought it up to me before, and I told you to save the story. Don't tell me. But you started sales at 9 years old, bro.
Not saying that I was, a salesman at 9 and I was, 10, 11, 12, 13. I said, what the conversation I told you to remind me about it, right, is I seen how uh, most people are afraid of that sales process, okay, which is required to be an entrepreneur. But that I think is something that was different from me, and being afraid of the sales process, and which is what helped me become successful because that is a requirement. It's a requirement in a business. Every business has a sales department, no matter what, McDonald's or whatever, you name it. They have a sales department that's generating them income, and those guys are probably making more money than everyone else in different separate departments because there's also usually a commission, attached to whatever hourly pay, or sometimes it's just commission pay. And if they're hard workers like me, they're going to be nonstop hitting it, because the more you sell, the more money you make, and everyone likes money. But no, I noticed that in myself, basically, how I was void of that fear because even at the age of 9, I was out there. I tell you a story. Basically, I liked, and I still do like playing video games. And when I was about 9 years old, I used to. This is back when like Blockbuster was around and stuff. I used to rent
Oh,
video games.
Blockbuster.
So yeah, man. Blockbuster was where it was at, man. They
It
had all the
was.
video games there for you,
Yeah.
man, and you could just. I just sit there. I sit there 2-3 days just sitting there playing video games
Playing the
straight.
games.
I didn't even turn off the system because you couldn't save games during that. I don't know if you. Yeah, I'm from the old school. You couldn't save games and come back to it. If you turned it off, it's a wrap. Mario
That's it.
Brothers, you gotta play from start to finish, man. And if you turn it off, it's wrap. So I leave the game on overnight, and then come back in the morning while everybody's asleep and I'm still at it. So I used to love love video games. I used to love renting new ones so that I didn't have to buy them. I just beat them within 3 days and try beating them in 3 days and stuff. But one of the things that I used to hate as a young youth, man, was having to go and ask my parents for money, right? Because what's the first thing they ask you when you ask them for money? Hey, mom, can I get $5, please? At 9 years old, right? 8 years old. Hey, can I get $5, please? What are they gonna ask you?
Use it for?
Exactly. Video games. Oh, video. No, I don't have money for video games and
I don't
stuff.
have video game money.
Right. My sister and my uncles at the time, older, they used to sell newspapers, right? They were part of the newspaper teams, and they would get a booklet or a pamphlet to subscribe people, and they would jump in the van from the newspaper company, and they would drop them off on the street and then meet them down the street, and they knock on the doors until they reach up to the van, and then they go to another block. And I've watched them do that. Even prior to that, I think I was like 4 or 5 years old in New York. I was helping my cousin deliver newspapers. We'd ride our bikes, and he had like a basket behind the bike, and we just throw the newspapers in hidden houses. But fast forward, because I was always working. I was always a hard worker, man. Always cutting lawns, all that stuff. But fast forward, I was like, man, I need a video game. And I seen my uncle's booklet laying there on the table. I was like, yeah, let me go grab his booklet. And so I had this pinky ring at the time that my father bought. And I would knock on people's door. I was like, hey, would you like to subscribe to, the newspaper? And as a bonus, if you sign up today, we'll put you down as being eligible to win this ring, right? and people would be like, "What? Like, how much do I need?" I'm like, "All you need is $2, and I can put you down for it." And they were just looking at me like, "This one right here, ain't nobody gonna give us a ring." But I'd make enough money just for the hell of me knocking on people's door. They would just give me money just to get away. Like, all right, here you go. But I'd get my video games, right? So that fear of cold call, and reaching out to people, I was void of that from a young age, man. It always was a numbers thing for me. There was a lot of people whose doors I'd knock on, even when it came down to selling those chocolates from school, right? You remember like when the school would give you out the boxes of chocolate and they'll send you out there and you would. Yeah, I would be knocking on people's door. No, bling, no, bling, no, but the yes, and then I get a $2. Mind you, I probably eat all of the chocolate bars before, it gets back to the school anyway, right? Yeah. But, you know what I'm saying? That was the video game money,
That was the hustle.
Yeah, it was. It was just, the mindset of a young and a kid. I didn't have, the mindset straight and whatever, but it just showed that, as I recalled, like, man, I was always willing to reach out to people, basically. You get what I'm saying? In order to make a successful sale. I was always doing that. And now that I train, man, that's the biggest catalyst for someone's success. I see it. People are afraid. They're literally afraid. Public speaking, cold calls. They are literally afraid to make that call.
Dude, I agree with you on that, bro. I think people are afraid of just being out there, bro. But one of the things that'll get you out of that fear is when your back is against the wall and you have no other option. Well, hopefully you get over that.
Not necessarily, man. A lot of people resort to what they know. Yeah. A lot of people they go back to what they know. Usually, and that's why there's not that many entrepreneurs out there. That's why there's not that many successful business people out there. And the main thing is because of sales. It comes down to sales. So if anyone's listening that inspired to be entrepreneurs and you need to know some sales techniques, you want to know how to reach out to people, I do private sessions, to help people. Sales. If you have a company that you want to grow, and you have sales agents or people who do sales, and you need somebody to come and give them some tips to increase sales, give me a call. All right, 407-601-9493. Hit me up. It's easy to reach me, and I love to help. I love to teach. So it's a major factor when it comes to running a business.
Yeah. Got to get themselves in there, man. And dude, bro, this is dope. I love Beyond the Hustle, man. I love doing the podcast. And we're going to wrap it right there, bro, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Hopefully you got something out of this conversation, and we're going to be back with more conversation next week, Tuesday night. So make sure y'all join in that conversation, man. Drop your comments in here. We will be having guests, Oksana. I see your comment. We will be having guests on the show. So if you want to be a guest on the show, just make sure you get in our comment section, man. You can send me a message. You can send Paul Renee a message as well. Taxmoney123.com for all your tax needs is coming around. So make sure y'all reach out for that. TadamyProductions.com.
That season about to sneak up on y'all.
Yes. You want to make something dope like this, hit me up, TadamyProductions.com. We can get you guys worked out. Until next time, we will see y'all. Deuces.